Hello, everyone. Before we start, I would like for you to close your eyes for a moment and imagine a place where light does not exist. Hard to imagine, isn't it? Now you may open your eyes. See? Light is everywhere, and we're so used to it that it is almost impossible to picture a place without it. But I would like to share with you that I have been to a place where there is absolutely no light at all. Last Christmas, I traveled to Yunnan and I took a train from Kunming to Dali. There were many tunnels on the way, and when our train passed through one of them, all of a sudden, darkness wrapped the world. Darkness drenched and time prolonged. 10 seconds. 20 seconds. Finally, the train passed through the tunnel and sunlight shined once again. And I realized that is the light at the end of the tunnel. Today, I want to talk to you about light. More specifically, I want to talk to you about the different types of light. First of all, let's think about the different things that give off light. The sun, the moon, the stars, fire, and even lightning. These all belong to the same type of light, natural light. I want to share my experience I had with photography. There was a time when I was experimenting, manipulating light. Last quarter, in my elective class, we were taught about photography. I learned 3 key components in the exposure triangle, the most important basics in photography, which are ISO, shutter speed, and aperture. I learned that these elements in photography control light. Using the knowledge I learned about the exposure triangle, I took some photos of different sources of natural light, as you may see over here. Looking at all the different sources of natural light, I found one common feature that links them together. No matter if it's the sunlight, the moon, or the warm firelight, all of them can stand alone. I'll extend this idea a bit further. Which part of us can stand alone? I discovered it is our inner part, our most intimate feelings, our true selves. These are our first keywords for today: natural light, alone, true self. Please keep them in mind, and I'll come back to them very soon. As humans, we were not satisfied with the lights that were given to us by nature. Therefore, we created our own. And these are the artificial lights. Think of the LED lights, lamps, and even torches. These artificial lights help us light up the world at night and chase away darkness. An example of this would be the Tokyo Tower in Japan, which I visited in the last summer holiday. Take a look at that ceiling. Isn't that an ingenious human imitation of the countless stars of the night sky? Another example is this cave, which I went to the last winter holiday. Caves are often dark, wet, and a little intimidating. But with the radiant, colorful lights, the cave is so beautiful, I almost felt like I was transported to a distant wonderland. Now, if natural light is alone, then what is artificial light? We can think about this by reflecting on how we make them. For an artificial light to shine, there are many things we need, like electricity, wires, batteries, chargers, and many other different components. So artificial light is needs, since it can't shine on its own. What do we as humans need? I would say one important thing we often need is outside recognition. However, in the outside world, most times we cannot show our most true and intimate feelings, and we need a mask to fit in, whether it's at school, at work, or even among friends. And this mask we need to put on is our false selves. But sometimes, because we're so used to being this false self, we don't know how to be our true selves, even when we're all alone. And that is a serious issue I faced. Remember our second keywords: artificial light, needs, and false selves. And I'll come back to them in just a moment. Now, have you ever wondered when natural light and artificial light come together? That is chemical light. A best manifestation of chemical light is definitely fireworks, created by the reactions and explosions of different chemicals, dominating the night sky for just one moment before dying into darkness. Among the fireworks I have watched, the one that I remember the best is definitely the Hanabi Daikai, the summer firework festival that I saw in Japan last summer. Speaking of chemicals, it reminds me of all those things from chemistry class. Elements, mixtures, chemical reactions. Right, and that is the key about chemical light. Mixed. Chemical light is exactly when our true selves and false selves mix, when they clash and come together. All of that might sound abstract or difficult to understand, but don't worry. Here is my story and my most intimate struggles. Please raise your hand if you had the experience of having so many deadlines at the same time. Well, I see almost everyone here, right? And so do I. At the end of the last semester, among my 10 deadlines, I had this one terrific project, which is art. I had to copy a part of the painting of Waterloo, the Battle of Waterloo, and in the beginning when I was drawing alone, I was relaxed and I was enjoying the process. And that was my true self. However, on the day of deadline when we had to bring our works to school, I saw the works of my classmates, which all look like the works of 16th century Renaissance masters, and my false self took full dominance. Since the deadline was 6 p.m., I tried to fix things up after school, but my false self made me so sad and disappointed that I started to cry. Miss Gabby and other teachers, as well as my friends, all praised my art and gave me encouragement. After I got home, my parents also advised me that growing up is the process of accepting our mediocrities. All of this was the outside recognition that my false self needed. But surprisingly, they did not make me feel much better. The next morning, when I opened my eyes, a warm and glowing light shined on my face. When memories of the previous day came back to me, my true and false selves came together. I realized that art is not about the results, but rather the process that truly matters. And I felt happy once more. In the world, we're often forced to be our false selves. When our true and false selves clash, can we maintain our true selves? That's a question I want all of you to think about. My answer to that question is no. But sometimes that is not a must. When they clash, the chemical light that is produced is an opportunity for growth, and lets us to really think about what truly matters. Think about what is important to us. Life is countless moments of such chemical flashes when our different selves clash, producing different lights. These moments are like reaching the end of a dark tunnel where we emerge with greater clarity and understanding. Remember our key concepts: natural light, alone, true self; artificial light, needs, false self; and chemical light, mixed, true self and false self coming together. Let our chemicals explode and create the lights of our lives, guiding us through the tunnels of darkness to the light at the end. Thank you.